What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? It is Monday. We're here with our Ask Tim. I'm sorry I was late today. I had the puppy to deal with, and he is with Samantha right now. I just got Claire Bear here in my office, and we also have been having some issues with stamps.com. Their API is having issues. And some with their login system, so we've had some delays getting UPS, or not UPS, USPS orders out today. UPS already shipped out because we use directly to the UPS system. But we're going to try to get caught up. I'm going to actually check the queue right now and see what we're looking like. I wonder if they got their issues resolved yet or not. Yeah, no, definitely still having issues with USPS. It's still throwing errors. So if you guys have an order that's USPS, it's going to be a little bit delayed today just because of issues with stamps.com. That's what ShipStation uses for their label generation, and that's who we use ShipStation for all of our shipping stuff. So I just want to make a mention there. We did post out on all our social media accounts. So I may look a little more disheveled than normal. My hands are all beaten up from the puppy and working in our basement. We're working on an entertainment room down there, and after this I have to go back down there and finish the power because I have drywallers coming tomorrow. I'm doing my own electrical work. It's a lot cheaper than having an electrician come out, and I think I can handle it. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's see here. Where's the chat? I have more chat on Stream Deck, I think. Oh, wait, no. Did it jump? Let's see here. All chat. Okay, there we go. And, of course, actually, Jonathan is the first one with a question, and it's not related to 3D printing, but I will answer. He's asking if the puppy's okay. The puppy is okay. He ended up having issues with... he had issues with the, what's the word I'm looking for? With the dewormer, not the dewormer itself, but I guess because the worms were dying off, it was upsetting his stomach, so he's all good. Yeah, I appreciate you guys asking. He's back to his crazy self. He is full of energy. He's actually been wearing Claire out. It's kind of funny. So, but our first question here is from... first related question, I should say, is from Derek. He said, what's the ETA for a tough precision screw set? I assume you mean the screwdriver set. I honestly wish I had a solid ETA, but right now, sea shipping, which is what we had those sent out over a month ago, is taking forever. They're overbooked and everything, and just stuff is taking a while to get here. So we actually reordered a lot of inventory last week, and we shipped it all DHL air instead of going with the sea shipping. So the shipping is a little more expensive. Sea shipping we can't even book right now. There's just no bookings available. So we might have some price increases coming up on some of the products because right now, and I don't know if it's because of inflation or anything else. I have no idea what the cause is, but when we reordered all of our inventory last week, our costs on, like our actual cost to our door on some stuff was 10 to 22% higher than normal. So, and it's across all of our suppliers, we're seeing this. So I don't know what the cause is. We're just paying more for the same stuff we have been. So at some point we're going to have to bump prices up a little bit. And I have a feeling everybody that is running a company is kind of in the same boat. I don't know if we have any other business owners in here that are dealing with inventory issues like that where costs are going up. But yeah, let me hear from you guys if you are running a business and you deal with inventory, and let me know if you guys are seeing cost increases on your stuff. Basically what I'm told is that it's raw materials going up, and this is from stuff in the US, China, Japan. Like everything's going up in price. Like our easy boards, for example, right now, it's really hard to get the LPC processors. And we usually pay for just the processor in bulk quantities. We're talking like thousands of them. We usually pay about $10 to $12 a chip. It's somewhere in there. Right now, they're $46 a chip if you can even find them. So luckily, we got our batch that's in production right now in at the normal price. Because I'll be honest, if they said, yeah, it's going to be $46 just for the processor, we would just have to not get them made until prices came down. So, but from what I've been seeing in the news, like pretty much everybody's having issues with chips being manufactured, memory, processors, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it sucks, but we'll see. Let's get into the, there's our tangent. We'll get the tangent out of the way. Joe Downey is asking, I want to control 2 separate Z-steppers with my Ender 3 V2. Any boards work with a stock LCD? I'm sure there's ones that can be made to work, but I'm going to tell you right now, just get rid of the stock LCD. If you're going to go through the trouble of changing the board, the stock LCD sucks. You can't access half the features that a normal 12864 LCD will afford you. Get rid of the stock LCD. You know, if you're going to go through the trouble, you're going to save yourself like $20 tops if you don't swap the LCD, but you're going to lose a lot of functionality. Get rid of the stock LCD and go with a different board. The MKS S Gen LV2 is what I'd recommend. I can't in good faith or good conscience, I should say, recommend the Big Tree Sec stuff because they're not reliable and their customer support is basically non-existent. So, but the MKS S Gen Ls have been a decent Chinese board for like a universal board, and they're pretty good. You know, especially for what you pay for them. That's really the balance there. The cost versus the product reliability. I have a couple SGNLs, the V1s and the V2s in service here on machines, and they've been running great. Whereas I've had an SKR 1.3 that was DOA. I had a 1.4 that failed after about 2 weeks. And then I had a 1.4 turbo in the AM8, which is, you can kind of see at the enclosure right here. It just kept locking up. So, that machine has an MKS SGNL V2 in it, and Barney up here, who had the 1.3 SKR, has the SGNL V1, and both of them have been solid. So, and I use those 2 machines quite a bit, and they've been good. I can't really complain. So, let's see. I see people talking about the MKS E3P. I would not recommend the E3P because if that's the one I'm thinking of. Hang on, they have one that's an E3D, and they have the E3P. Hang on, I gotta look it up, because one of them has a 256K chip, and I'd say don't get that one, and one of them has a 512K, and I get them confused. I have the 512K version sitting in a bin over here that I need to play with that and test it to see what I can do with it. My only concern is like the LCD is kind of weird. I think the E3P is a 512K. Yeah, it is. The E3P is 512K. I was just pulling up their listing. So yeah, but I can't vouch for the E3P. I haven't actually used it. So, but yeah, let's see what the next question is here. Ram Design is asking, has anyone had a problem with filament flipping off the side of their spools? It happened to me during a print. What a pain. Maybe time to make some extended sides of the spools. We had that happen a lot with... we were printing with Matter Hackers ABS a lot, and every single one of their ABS rolls would do that. It would unspool, and then it would lead to it getting tangled on the actual spool holder. We never found a resolution with that. We just stopped buying their filament. We've been printing with Coax for over 2 years now, and we pretty much exclusively buy Coax filament. I don't have that issues with their rolls. But yeah, I would just say, I mean, unless you want to literally make like, I don't know, easiest way would probably be to take 2 pieces of cardboard that are bigger than the spool, cut it out in a circle, and just slap it to the side of the spool with some tape. Keep it simple. But yeah, I mean that's really your only option is extend that. No! That was probably really loud. Oh, my tip went flying. I didn't crack my glass. Where did my tip go? And it's now a stream because I dropped something. That's problematic. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can find where the hell that went. Okay, we're back. I can't tell you how many times I've dropped this damn thing. Shout out to Wismec, though. I think this is Wismec. Yeah, Wismec. This thing takes a beating. I've had this for like 6 years, and I drop it all the time. It's at least 3 or 4 times a week, as you guys could see. We were talking about spools. Yeah, I would just say, if like, take some cardboard, cut it out in a circle, and and then put it on the side, just maybe put some double-sided tape or loop some tape. There's really no way to do it because the problem is that it's unraveling because of the tension it's under, and it just wants to come off. So, yeah. I don't have an easy fix for that. Let's see here. Oh, someone super chat, PRRK4 Pacific. I want to upgrade the CR6 SE Hotend. Do you offer kit or parts? If you don't, where can I get kit or parts? I don't really have a good answer for you because the problem with that printer, and this is one of the reasons I don't like it. There's multiple reasons I don't like the printer, but this is just another reason, is because they have that integrated, like, what is it? It's like a pressure sensor for the auto bed leveling. You're kind of limited on what Hotends you can put on there until somebody comes up with a mount. So you're basically stuck designing your own Hotend mount, or getting rid of that pressure sensor. Me personally, I don't use that CR6. It's been sitting in my garage since we did the video on it, and Joe and I were playing around with it because I'm concerned about the board catching on fire. I'm not exaggerating. It's been a known issue with these, and the stock board has had a lot of issues where it just catches on fire. I've already replaced the power switch with the one we carry because my power switch had arcing out of the box, and I showed that on the stream, but it's just not a very good machine. It could have been good, but there's just too many faults with it. And if you're somebody that likes to modify your printer and change the Hotend and change the extruder, you change the extruder with not much work, but it's still more difficult than like an Ender 3. The CR6 is more of a printer that you're going to use stock, and you're going to keep it stock. So if you guys are watching, you're thinking about a CR6 and you like to tinker with it, don't get a CR6 because it's just going to be a pain to try to replace that. And here's the kicker: because they have that ribbon cable that feeds the Hotend, it makes it much more difficult to replace the thermistor with a standard thermistor, the heater cartridge with a standard heater cartridge. It's just not as modder friendly, and that's just the sad reality of it. It's made for a printer that people don't want to mess with the printer. So, but I assume if you're watching here, you're probably somebody that likes, at the very least, doing some upgrades to it, or you get them and use it stock for a while, and then, hey, I want to do something. I want to put a new board in. I want to, change the Hotend. You can't do that easily on the CR6. You can't change the Hotend easily. There's only one aftermarket board for it, and it's made by Big Tree Tech. I actually have some here because while Big Tree Tech's boards have not the greatest track record, their CR6 boards don't have a track record of catching on fire like the stock one. But I'm honestly at the point where I might just sell that machine. I have no like desire to use it when I've got Ender 3s and I can get Ender 3s all day long. The Ender 3 is still my favorite machine. It's affordable, it's well built for the price, and it's highly customizable. The CR6 is none of that. Maybe it's good build quality. I do think the build quality was decent. But there's just too many negatives for me to use it, and like I said, I don't want to risk the board catching on fire if I'm running a print job on it. That's why I haven't been using it. It's just we've got so many other machines, I don't want to take the risk of that one going up in smoke. And my buddy Chris, I don't know if you're watching Chris, he usually watches the streams, but he has a CR6 and he's been battling issues, and nothing but issues with the Hotend, and it's the PTFE coupler. And the problem is Creality decided to use a proprietary PTFE coupler to hold the tubing in, or I say coupler, fitting is what I mean. So he can't even go and buy a basic fitting pack like what we carry and replace it. He has to go to Creality and get their proprietary Hotend fitting. I don't like the ways of that. They should be using standard parts. I mean, they can use whatever they want. It's their company, but in terms of a consumer standpoint, I'd rather buy a machine, and rather you guys buy machines that you can get parts from us or any other company that sells, parts for 3D printers, instead of having to go back to the manufacturer and buy proprietary parts. And what happens if, Creality's not around for much, anymore, and you can't get the parts anymore? It's just way harder to maintain the machine if you have to get proprietary parts. So, and that's, like I said, I could seriously bitch about the CR6 for probably a good hour and a half, to be completely honest. So I don't like the machine. I really don't like it. after like spending more time with it and seeing all the issues with it. Like, it looks good on the surface and out of the box, it's a good impression, but it's just not it's not a very good machine considering what else is out there, even from the same exact company. So, let's see here. Shanem says he received his Easy Flex texture PI plate. It works amazingly well with Magic and Pet G with manual bed leveling. Yeah, good. I see you read the directions. Put something down between Pet G and the plates, unless you want to damage the plates. But good. I'm glad that you like it. I love our plates. I literally use them on every single machine here. It's not even a joke. Every single machine in my office, every single machine in our print farm. Actually, I take that back. The only one that doesn't have it, because I don't have the size anymore, is my Wanhao i3 Mini, but I have the Easy Mat on there, and I literally just use that one for TPU. But if I still had the 165s, I would have a Easy Flex on there. But so literally one printer doesn't have it is because I don't carry the size anymore. Let's see here. Oh, Shannon also got the Easy Flow nozzle too, 0.6. 0.6 is nice. If you guys haven't messed with a 0.6 nozzle, I highly recommend just picking one up to try it, because it's a good bump up where you don't lose a lot of detail, but a 0.6 can make prints go a lot faster. And I like the Easy Flows. I think most of my machines, not all of them, most of my machines in here have our Easy Flows. I'm actually going to put Easy Flow on the dead list. It's just got the standard V6 brass, but we carry V6 Easy Flow nozzles, so I'm going to put a 0.6 in here and take the 0.4 brass out because it's a bigger machine, and I think it would be a really nice pairing with, it's got the E3D Gold Hotend, which is like the copper block. I think the copper block with the copper nozzle is going to be a good combination. So, let's see here. What's the best way to order B-stock flex plates or open box easy ABL? I think we still have some of that. The best way is to email the Streams email. Streams@th3dstudio.com. We have that integrated into our ticketing system now, so it's easier for us to stay on top of things. But yeah, if you're looking for like just like used stuff or stuff that's cosmetic defect, or maybe an ABL kit that works fine but a customer returned it for whatever reason, we usually have some. We don't have a ton. But yeah, you can always shoot us a message. If we don't reply to you, it's just because we don't have it. So, but if we do have stuff, we will reply. So don't be upset if you don't get a reply right away, or at all. If we don't have anything that you're looking for, in terms of like the the B stock stuff, we call B stock. It could be return products. It could be cosmetic blemish products. We have some stuff on there. I haven't found a good way to list it on the website without making a separate product page for everything, so we just handle it manually. Where are we at? Hang on, I'm going back here. It jumped on me. Damn chat jumped. Matt finally finished his FlashForge Creator Pro conversion. Awesome. I hope it was worth the trouble. Okay, here we go. Dominovax says, I've got an Ender 5 Plus. I got some ugly layer lines. I tried so much and detailed that in Discord and the live streams. All right, let me pull up Discord here. I always have Discord open on my computer. That's the one, like, I guess you could call it a social media platform. That's like the one social media platform I'm really on anymore. I don't use Facebook. But I use Discord quite a bit. I like Discord. So let me share the screen here. All right, so he's got these layer lines. I would say if I was troubleshooting this, because I see it's on every print, I would be looking at the extruder. What do you have on here? I got these layer lines. I checked calibration. The belts are good. Better cooling. Temp tower. Micro Swiss Hotend. You could be getting partial jams. I would try adding a filament oiler and see if that clears things up, because that could manifest. If you're getting partial jams and it pushes through it, it can manifest itself like that. He said he's got dual gear extruders. Doesn't tell me much. Is this like a name brand one or a knockoff? Because a lot of the knockoffs, and I see you're using an SKR. I'm assuming it's probably a knockoff if you went with the SKR. But a lot of the knockoff, like Bondtech clones, especially Ficets, I don't know how to say it. I've heard nothing but terrible things about the Bondtech knockoffs from Ficec, or FISETC. I don't know how to say it. And yeah, I haven't used the SKR Pro. That's basically like their E3 with a LPC on it. I would check your, I would check, because I'm willing to bet they probably send their, if you're using their firmware, you should turn off stealth chop on your extruder motor. You could just be losing steps because you're in stealth chop. A lot of people put their extruder motor in stealth chop because it's quieter, but they don't realize that they're actually, they're going to lose steps. And a lot of people lose steps with their extruder motor in stealth chop. And like I said, I've said this before, even Trinamic in their datasheet specifies if you're using a TMC driver on an extruder motor on a 3D printer, run it in spread cycle mode. On that board, you should be able to control the mode the driver's running in from your LCD. So the first thing I would do, turn stealth chop off on your E. I'm assuming it's on. Most people leave it on, and most of the firmware is set to leave it on by default. So that's what I would go with there. If your E is set to stealth chop, change it to spread cycle. See if that fixes it. If that doesn't work, check your extruder, because a lot of those cheap dual gear extruder, like the clones, unless you buy a genuine Bondtech, you're probably going to get a subpar extruder. There's not a lot of good clone extruders out there. There's a reason we don't sell the Bondtech clones, because I haven't found a good one, and it's also kind of a gray area with the licensing. Like, we carry our Tough extruder, which is based on the E3 Titan design, but that design's open source, so anybody can sell it and make it. So I still use the Tough extruder on a lot of machines here. I haven't found much benefit at all over the dual drive stuff. But the dual drive stuff is definitely better, especially if machine comes with it. It's definitely better than your standard non-geared extruder. So I see some people in here. Zach Grabber says, yeah, freight prices and times are tough from China right now. We struggle with it right now. Yeah. So I figure there be more people having issues with it. Dominic Versetto is asking about FL Sun Deltas. I've not heard anything good about FL Sun Deltas. I've heard they're a project. So if you want a project, sure. I mean, the reality is if you're willing to put enough time and money into it, you can make any printer print. But, you know, do you want to spend that time? There's a lot of machines. I gave up on Deltas. I feel like Deltas are, they're complicated just for the sake of being complicated, and you don't really get much better performance or print quality out of it. So let's see. There we go. That's working. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? Man, we're already, well, I started 10 minutes late. Okay, so we're not doing too bad on time. Max CJ is asking, is the STM32F403 RCT6 256K enough for Marlin? Yeah, you can fit Marlin on there, but once you start adding more features, you're probably going to start running out of space. Like on the SKR E3 mini boards, they use that cheap chip. Like, that's like the 256K version of the 512 ones. And because the STM compile sizes are actually larger than most other processors that Marlin supports, you're losing a lot of program space. So if you're buying a board, you want to get a board that has 512K of memory, especially for the 32-bit ones. So Dennis Miller's asking, did you try to put your TH3 extruder Hotend and pancake stepper on the King Rune? I have not. The King Rune's on the floor right now. I was going to do a little video, or not a video, I was going to do a stream of getting that up to speed, putting the Easy ABL on there. It's just been last week. Aaron's supposed to be back tomorrow. Aaron's our general manager here, so he handles a lot of stuff because he's out on vacation until tomorrow. He comes back tomorrow. I've been having to do a lot of his day-to-day stuff, so I haven't had time to work on any development work last week. And like starting Friday of last week, he was out. So I'll be jumping back into that later this week for development stuff. I got some board repairs to do tomorrow, trying to get those all done by Thursday, and then I'll be jumping back into the dev stuff. So any product development, printer, firmware development, that's all been on hold for almost 2 weeks now. So BW's asking, I got an Anycubic Mega Zero. I was wondering, it says it'll print HIPS, PLA, ABS, TPO, wood, but will it print ASA and all that as well? The answer is yes. It'll melt it down. The thing is, with ASA and ABS, you need an enclosure. You have to have an enclosure. It warps ASA. Treat ASA like ABS in terms of how you print it, temperatures, etc. I printed ASA before. I print a lot of ABS still. We actually have about 23 enclosed printers here that just do ABS. But you need to have an enclosure. You want an ambient temp of somewhere between 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. I have 2 enclosed machines in my office. There's Ender 5 Plus with the 3D upfitters enclosure, which I really like. It works really well. I'm able to do ABS on that machine, no problem now. And even larger PLA parts where I would get warping on large PLA parts. I don't have that issue anymore. And what I like about their enclosure, they include a fan that you can just, it's USB, so I just plug it in if I'm doing PLA, because you don't want to get it up to high temperatures like you would with ABS, but that little fan keeps it cool enough for PLA, and then I just leave it unplugged for ABS, but it works great. And then I have just a DIY one that I built like 3.5 years ago for my AM8, and in our print farm we have the printed solid enclosure. So 3D upfitters makes nice acrylic enclosures. Printed solid makes some nice, they're like hybrid, they're wood and acrylic. I've got both from both companies. And if you've got like $100 extra, I highly recommend just buying an enclosure that you just put together, like a piece of IKEA furniture versus trying to do it yourself. It'll take you a lot less time. So let's see here. We answered that one. Going through here. Sean Wolf says, I have Ender 5 Pro, just added the 427 and the TH3D firmware. When I have a lot of infill, the Hotend clogs. This is new since the board and firmware. Ideas? Could be that your board's running too hot. Next time you're printing, have the screws off the bottom or have like only a couple in, and then feel the E driver. That board could be running too hot. I can't remember where the fan position is on the Ender 5. I want to say it's not directly over the board. It might be in the vicinity. It's been a while since I worked on Ender 5. But it sounds like maybe you're having an issue where the extruder is failing to feed. And it could be related to heat on the driver. But a Hotend clog, if the board itself is still turning the motor and that's functioning correctly, then the Hotend clog is going to be something with your Hotend. It's probably just a coincidence that you changed the board and now you're having this issue. I hope you also set the VREFs on your X, Y, Z, and E. You have to get a multimeter out and a screwdriver and adjust those. If you look on our help center at support.th3dstudio.com, if you just search VREF, there's a link there with the recommended VREFs for the 427 and 422 boards. Just be very careful when you're adjusting them, because if your screwdriver slips or your multimeter probe lead slips, you can short out the entire board and kill it. And I'm not exaggerating here. You have to do the adjustment with the power on. So it's not like our Easy board where you can set the current with the firmware or through the printer LCD. You have to manually adjust it. So let's see here. Michael says, I'm printing some parts on N3V2 on ASA and on smooth PI, having very slight warping issues. It's totally stuck to the PI at the end, so I'm thinking the ASA is pulling at the flex. My question would be, do you have an enclosure? When it comes to ASA and ABS, I print on PEI sheets like our flex plates, but I use the vision miner on it. I've had hit and miss with ABS, where with PEI, some brands stick great to it. Other brands, they pull up. I use ABS, or I use Vision Miner with ABS and ASA on the PEI, or PEI sheets, plates, etc. PEI surface, I use Vision Miner for ABS and ASA. If you don't have an enclosure, it could be as simple as you need to get an enclosure for the printer. If you're running the printer supervised and you want something makeshift, get a cardboard box that's the size of the printer, stick it over the top, and just don't leave it unattended. I've done the cardboard box trick multiple times. Like my Ender 5 Plus, I had some big parts. I was printing trays for my humidor, and those are big, flat parts, so they like to warp with PLA even. Yeah, you definitely want to get it enclosed and get the temp up. So let's see here. Bo, 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 bo. Jonathan Bayer says he's pretty happy with Inland PLA. I stopped using Inland PLA. I used to print a lot of Inland when I started out, but they changed manufacturers, and the old stuff was way better. It's actually eSun PLA Plus, and now they changed to some brand that I have no idea. But it's cheap Chinese filament. I've had a lot of issues with it. Off Axis is in here. Is there an upgrade? Is there a board upgrade for the KP3 I can get? I noticed different size stepper motor connector and LCD wiring the Ender 3 style board. There's not a drop-in replacement. Oh man, there's an ant on my camera here. The hell? There's a big old carpenter ant. I was like looking at my lens and there's like something crawling on it. I am in a garage. So I guess it's that time of year. It's like 70 degrees out right now. It's nice. But anyways, back on the topic. The short answer is there's not a drop-in replacement. Any board upgrade you're going to do to that printer is going to require you to print a new housing, new mounting, and everything. If I was replacing the board, I would just kind of strip their cover they have and print a new one. You might have to do it on. You might have to. I don't know if you have other printers, but you might have to print. The casing on another machine or break it up into parts. So, but yeah, it's going to be a very manual process is what I'm getting at. Yes, you can change the board out. You can put, I've said this before, you can put any board basically in any printer. It's just how much work are you willing to put into it. Printed parts, connector changes, hacking up metal enclosures to like get the USB through, or the SD slot. There's no drop-ins available for that one, aside from the original, I think that's a Robin Mini. I get these flipped up. The KP3 and the KP3S, they both come with Robin, MKS Robin series boards. The Kingroon 1.2 is a rebranded Robin board, and I can't remember, I think it's the Robin Nanos in the KP3S, and I think the Minis in the KP3, but I could have those flipped. But those are basically the only boards that can drop into there, which is what the stock one is. Bill Blight said he's broken 3 Wismex. Man, I don't know how. I mean, I feel like I had an issue with this once, where one of the wires was messed up, but I opened it up and fixed it. I like to fix stuff instead of throwing it away. Let's see here. Matt Madoob. An unbreakable glass tank? Send me an email. Send me an email with a link. Streams@th3dstudio.com. As long as I can find coils for it. I don't know if you guys know, side tangent here, because I do vape, and I know quite a few of the people that watch do. They're not going to be able to ship juice and coils and anything related to vaping through the U.S. mail. I think it's like end of April. It might even be sooner than that because of some regulation they passed. So if you guys order your stuff online, stock up. And if your local shop doesn't carry stuff, like my local shop never has these coils. I just bought a bunch of packs of these. See if you can get them to carry your stuff. I just want to put a little PSA out there because it kind of blindsided me. I found this out a week ago and I was like, crap. So yeah, that's the thing. FedEx, UPS, and USPS are all not going to ship that stuff direct to consumer. It's a bunch of political crap that they put under the guise of, let's think of the children kind of crap. I could rant about that for hours, but that's not what this stream is for. It just reminded me of that. Let's see. You guys are chatty today. I'm trying to find questions. I just saw someone asking, here we go, Sean Youth, do you have a V-slot wheel recommendation? Brand 3 has a wheel with a flat spot. Yeah, that's not uncommon. We carry V-slot wheels. Just go into our TH3D store. A little store plug there. We carry V-slot wheels. They come in 2 packs. They're a couple bucks. And they're high quality. So they work, good quality bearings. We make sure that they're not screwed up. So you get good working wheels that run smooth. Let's see here. Zach Grabber, the atomic blue arrow mount turned out great. Just need to finish the wiring tonight. Oh, awesome! You're the guy. I printed him a PETG Titan arrow mount, the big one that David Petzel made, the Petsfang guy, in the atomic blue PETG. It came out freaking awesome. I think I still have the pictures of it because the color came out good, and that was when my ABS machine was having issues. My bed thermistor snapped, and I was like, he was like, well, I want it in PETG anyways. I was like, well, that's good. I'm glad we did it in that because my ABS machine was on the fritz. Oh, yes, I do. I do have pictures. Here, check this out. Look how awesome this came out. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let me lock that. There we go. Yeah, so this was done on my Ender 3 with our easy board and a bunch of other upgrades, but it came out nice. I love the Atomic PETG just prints. Like, this was done with PLA settings with higher temperatures. I didn't even hit it with a heat gun. This was just off the printer, supports removed. It came out good. Oh, that's Remo. He was passed out. Yeah, so it came out really good. This is the Atomic like blue, translucent blue PETG. It looks freaking awesome. Like, the pictures don't do it justice. It looks so much better in person. It's hard to really capture how that filament looks. But yeah. Oh no, it went up to my top monitor. There we go. Hopefully it didn't kill the stream. It was like freaking out. It was like laggy as crap because that monitor's off my 1030, my GT 1030, and these are on the 3090. So it was like freaking out there for a second. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Metuz Pomorski. I'm probably saying your name wrong. Are you Polish? I see the ski at the end. Usually the Polish people have ski at the end. He said I'm going to change my Hotend from an E3D V6, which is a huge disappointment for me, to something different. Should I get a Mosquito or a Dragon from Triangle Labs? The Dragon looks good, but they did copy a lot of stuff from Mosquito. I know people that have both and they like them. So my whole thing is, if you really need a high temp Hotend, I would probably go with the Mosquito. But Triangle Labs does make pretty good stuff. In all things considered with Chinese manufacturers. But if you got the money, burn a hole in your pocket. Mosquito, I don't own one, but I know people that have them and they love them. So, Frank Greer says, Ender 3 V2, ZN stop quit working, which switch shows good, and the cable to control board is good. Did the control board go bad? 422 version. My question would be, did you put that end stop on the X and Y and see if it works on X and Y? If it works on X and Y, and you also like just unplug the Z end stop plug and plug it into like X or Y and then run like an end stop test on X or Y, and you qualify that the cable's working and that the end stop is physically working, I would say your board probably is bad. I would try updating the firmware to another firmware just to rule out a software problem. But sadly, it could be that the IO pin is just bad on that. So John Santiago has my first order coax filament order. Awesome. You're gonna love it. I love their filament. Atomic's also good. I like their guys' stuff, Atomic and Coax, so much that I put a link, and it's not even an affiliate link, on our site. If you go to the top menu, there's one that says Filament. I linked out to their sites. They didn't ask me to do it. I just did it because people ask us all the time, what filament do we like? Those are our two go-to companies. Coax we buy a ton of bulk from, like our black ABS, our black PLA. Coax is when I want something cool. Like, I want to print something that looks cool. Not to say Coax doesn't look cool, but Atomic's got a lot of cool colors and different fills. Coax has just got a good variety of colors, and their colors are good. But if you want something fancier with, like, you know, maybe glitter or like carbon fiber or, you know, those kind of stuff, you guys know what I mean? You got your basics and you got your colors in the basic realm, but then you got the cooler stuff like transparent and that kind of thing. Atomic's got a lot of cool colors, but they are more expensive than Coax. Coax is my go-to. If basically my ordering process is, I check Coax. Do they have the color and material I want? Okay, they do. I order from Coax. If they don't, then I go to Atomic. So, they're both good companies. They're both made in the U.S. Atomic's out here in Indiana. They're about an hour and a half from us, and Coax is up in Wisconsin. And they were in Appleton. I think they moved. They're still near Appleton, but they're up there in Wisconsin. They're cheeseheads. And my wife's also a cheesehead. And, you know, I try to buy U.S. company stuff. I try to buy small business stuff. So if you guys want to treat yourself to a nice roll of filament, check both those places out. Let's see here. I need to go back. Man, it's already... We only got 20 minutes left. And I got to go back downstairs and keep doing electrical wiring. I hate doing electrical stuff, but I'll do it because electricians are expensive. And just before anybody asks, I am using the commercial grade outlets. I don't buy the 40, 50 cent residential ones. I put the commercial backwire ones in. I love those. I'm trying to catch back up on chat where we were at. Talking about the end stops. We're talking about coax. Okay, we're back here. Jason, I have not had any time to do anything with the Ender 6 because Aaron was out all last week. He'll be back. So I got, this week is Tim catches up on other things like board repairs and stuff. And then development stuff will be resumed next week, which is the Ender 6. The Ender 6 is next on my chopping block. It's right here. It just got moved down because my friend was using this, my friend Joel was using this table. He put a Titan Arrow setup from us on his G-Tech A20 because he prints, he does a lot of drone stuff and he wanted to print flexible faster and he's loving it. Let's see here. Next, and I'm fine watching you complain about the CR6 for an hour. Let's see here. Jason M says, it's time to resurrect my S5. Since EasyBoard's not available, what board would you recommend? I'd recommend you wait a week or two because we should have EasyBoards soon. If you want to, I mean, that's S5. You're basically, you got the EasyBoard and you got the Big Tree Tech stuff, but unless you want to be swapping your board out multiple times and not getting any support on it, I wouldn't recommend Big Tree Tech stuff. And I haven't tested the other stuff from MKS yet, so I can't recommend those. But we should have the next batch of EasyBoards in about a week to 2 weeks tops. The production's moving on along swimmingly. I'm actually going to ping Griffin right now because I know he said we were about 3 weeks out a week ago. But you guys know how shit goes these days. There could be delays. Let's see. Anyways, let's move on here. Dusk. Creality runs extruder motors on TMC drivers in Stealth Chop 2 and Legacy mode wire drivers. Yes, they do. I'm not a big fan of that. Because if you have issues with step loss in Stealth Chop, you can't change the mode. Rocky Dotson says, I need help with my configuration H. I have an Ender 3 V2 and there are no vids telling me what to undefine and how to EEPROM. Okay, well, it's very simple. So the EEPROM on the Ender 3 V2, the LCD should have a reset EEPROM or initialize EEPROM option, but all you need, if you're using our firmware, all you need on comment, I'm going to pull up the config file here. Just give me a moment while I'm loading up my firmware configs here. Nope, wrong one. So if you're using Ender 3 V2 and you're using our firmware, the Ender 3 V2 ships with the 422 board. So all you would uncomment would be this line right there. That's it. And then you would compile it. So if you're looking for that, you can go to our website. You can go to our main website and hit Help Center, or you can just go directly to it by going to support.th3dstudio.com, hit Downloads, and then you got Creality. And if we look here, we got Ender 3 V2 firmware. So you can download this. There's two parts to it. You have the LCD firmware update and then the actual printer board itself. So it's all broken down into steps here that walks you through it. You uncomment your lines. It generates a bin file. And then you put this on your SD card, put it into the printer while it's off, turn it on, and then it will flash the firmware. So, but in terms of Ender 3, if you just have Ender 3 V2, it's stock, you just uncomment this one line. That's it. To reset the EEPROM, if you have like, I don't think I have front or face on here. Do I? No, I don't. I don't have content. Hang on. So anyways, you just uncomment that and you compile it with VS Code. Now I just opened this file in a generic text editor called Notepad++, but you uncomment it, you compile it, just step through the steps on the actual download page, and it'll spit out the bin file, put that on the SD card, and you update it. Now, one thing I do want to point out, if you're using the stock LCD with the Ender 3 V2 and you update the firmware, and we do have a note on here, you have to use a FAT 32 formatted SD card, and it has to have a 4096 allocation size. So when you format the SD card, there's an option on Windows anyways, that's what I use, to set the allocation size. So you want to have it at 4096 allocation size or it will not pull in. So, but anyways, let's see here. Anyways, let's see. Where's my chat window? Here we are. Das is asking, E-step calibration on stock single gig Creality extruders, yes or no? It's up to you. I just set it to 95. That seems to be pretty accurate for those extruders, and just run with it. You can calibrate if you want. There's actually, if you go to our website, there's a tools section at the top. There's a drop down that says E-step calculator, and there's a thing that it walks you through calibrating your E-steps. You input your current E-steps, you tell it to extrude 100, you measure it, you put what you measured into there, and then it gives you your new E-steps. So it's pretty good. Let's see here. But anyways, I use 410 on our tough extruders for steps per millimeter, and I use 95 for the Creality ones. So, Ashia's asking, hey Tom, I got an Ender 6, and would swapping the main board to an aftermarket one be mostly straightforward? Would it get weird due to the Core XY? It's going to get weird due to the LCD. One of the things we're working on is an LCD conversion kit with a USB pass-through port, and getting our EasyBoard supported on the Ender 6. So, yeah. But it's going to be a pain in the ass with the stock LCD. I'm trying to find other questions here. Jeremy Campbell, no good place to get neon/fluorescent green PET G filament. I check Atomic. That's the kind of stuff they have a lot of cool things are, like the poppy, punchy colors. That's what I would recommend there. Let's see here. Yeah, Jeremy Stone, if you don't care what color is, Coax has mystery rails. They print nicely. Yes, their mystery rails print just as good as their regular ones, but the color is like when they're transitioning between colors on the extrusion line, they use that. So the tolerances are still just as good. The material is still just as good as their normal rolls, but it's random colors. And I've always been happy with the colors I got. They always get cool colors out of there. So, Jay Moore, I can't baby step on the Ender 3 because of the Ender 3 V2 because of the LCD. Yes, change the LCD. If you go on our Help Center, when I say Help Center, that's a support website. So support.th3dstudio.com. Just type Ender 3 V2 12864. For like $20, you can swap the LCD screen. You can do this with the stock board. You can do it with the EasyBoard. You can do it with multiple other boards. Get rid of that LCD. There has been, someone could probably tell me what the name of the GitHub is, but there was a guy that was working on a Marlin fork to bring more features to the Ender 3 V2 LCD. I looked into it and I use it. It's very buggy. I was having it lock up a lot. So it's kind of washed. The easiest way is just to replace the LCD with a 12864 and call it a day. So, John Santiago is like, I need to order the Easy Filament Sensor Kit. The sensor and Easy Out board kit is all you need for the Ender 5 Pro. Yeah, you just need the little adapter board and the sensor with the cable. So, it's pretty simple there. Mitchell Vink says, my nozzle is too high when printing, but perfect when leveling. Do you know how to solve this? I would just raise your bed a little bit. You're just adjust. When I would do, I'm assuming you're manually leveling. When I would manual level, and I would go ahead and put like a skirt around the printer or the print, and I still do this with the Easy AVL because you can then use the baby stepping. But what you do is you run a skirt and you do adjustments. So if, as it's printing the skirt around the part, you adjust the wheels with the bed and get it to where you want it. I was like, where's my maw? I need my maw. I love their melon stuff. I really need to do a pre-roll or like a pre-recording of the maw stuff. I like maw energy drink. There's a link in the description. If you like caffeine. There we go. Let's see here. I am going to have to wrap this up soon because I got to get back to work. But let me see here. What else? What other questions do we have here? M. Poffenberg, can you do some YouTube content on setting up and using Home Assistant? I know there's others out there, but many seem overwhelming. Yeah, I think, I mean, I could get I'll probably order like a Pi. Oh, we have Pis. Pi for 4 gig and then just get like a good quality SD card. Yeah, I could do like a little video. I just put feelers out to my suppliers too to get RGB Tasmota friendly bulbs, and my brother Doug, Top at Waffle, he found a company that over in China that already makes pre-flash Tasmota RGB bulbs. Because I got two, they're in a box right here. I got 2 lamps that are gonna go on either side of the couch here, and I wanted RGB bulbs so you guys could change the colors on them. And I couldn't find any Tasmota bulbs except for some stuff from China. So, but yeah, I was looking at trying to find RGB bulbs. Like, well, I guess this is gonna be the next one we'll carry for home automation stuff. In addition to the plugs, because I'm sure I can't be the only one that's having a hard time trying to find RGB bulbs that are locally controlled. So my hopes is that they can hunt them down, because the supplier that makes our plugs, they still make the plugs. These guys here actually have a box right here with the ESP chips in them. But their bulbs, they have bulbs, but they have a chip that Tasmota doesn't support and probably won't be supported. So, yeah, I'm looking at getting bulbs into the shop for our next smart home stuff. I kind of want to branch out into that, like, smart home and automation stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of overlap between there. They kind of go hand in hand. You can do a lot of cool stuff with a printer and smart home projects. So I've got quite a few smart home projects here, and all the electronics are all in 3D printed enclosures. It's awesome. So Hugo is asking, my friend can't connect his Ender 3 V2 to the PC. Are they known to have a dodgy USB port? I tried to remote install the correct driver, but I'm not able to connect. I don't think they're known to have it. Those are the 422 boards. Those aren't really known to have issues. I do want to give a shout out here, since we were talking about home automation. We'll circle back to that. There's a couple guys I'd recommend you guys check up. There's one called The Hookup. He does videos on YouTube. He has tons of awesome home automation videos. I watch a lot of his stuff, especially when I was starting out. Dr. Z's is another one, and Digiblur DIY. Those are 3 people. If you're wanting to get into home automation and like Tasmota like projects, or ESP home, like just electronics projects for home automation and just cool stuff like lighting and whatnot, check those guys out. But Hugo, I would say try having him check, or try having him use another USB cable, use a completely different computer even. If it's still not working, I would say maybe the USB to serial converter on that board is probably shot. It's not impossible. Remember, any product can die for any reason, anytime. It's just how the world works. Yeah. So, Felix says I'm getting ready to turn on my Pi that I got from you. It's asking me for a password. I tried all the ones I have on my invoice. There is, I think it's easypisetup.thrudystudio.com. Easy Pi setup. Yep. So Felix, head over to here, and this has all the login information on there for our Easy Pi kits. So there you go. It's all detailed there. It is, there's a section, table of contents, default logins. It's got all the information you need. Read through that page. It's got a lot of good information on there. So I hope you enjoy not using SD cards anymore. We literally have an Easy Pi kit on every single machine. I don't like using SD cards. So, but we are coming up to the point where I gotta wrap things up here. So But I know because you guys want to see. Is Clara, it's treat time. Do you want a treat? We got to boot up. Come here. We're tired today. The puppy has been tiring her out. Look out. She's an old girl now. She's 2 years old. Can you believe it? She's already 2? Okay, can we sit? Look how tired we are. Let's shake. Shake. Oh. Nice to meet you. All right, that's all we're going to make you do today. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Look at those ears. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys all stopping by. Sorry I started late. Things have been a little crazy here. I do want to do some just casual hangout streams while I'm working on stuff this week. It'll probably be later in the week because I have to get electrical work done in our basement because I got to get that done before the drywallers come in and finish off the areas that we're working on. So anyways, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you guys learned something. Make sure to enter the giveaway. And if you guys like what we do, you can support the channel by purchasing some parts for your printer and upgrades at th3dstore.com. Also, we will be setting up, I'm looking at getting a Subscribe Star set up to try to fund some giveaways and other stuff. I have it live, but I haven't publicized it yet. I'm still trying to figure out their settings with the tiers, and there's Discord integration and stuff, so I'm doing some cool stuff with that. But a buddy of mine recommended I check that out because they're a little less crazy than like Patreon. They take less fees and stuff. So anyways, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I hope you guys learned something. As always, happy printing.